seat. We are going to have a few stragglers because there's an accident and they're running behind. And that brings me to a quick little survey I want to do. Do you guys think that we should start the meetings at 6 as opposed to 5? No? No, you don't want to go later? No? All right, how about hands? Yes for 6. Oh, shoot. Can I get 2? All right, well, we'll ask those people that come in later and see what they think. Just a couple things. You guys. 5:15? It is 5. It's 5:17. No, Saturday morning. Okay, so we'll throw it around just a little bit more when some of the other people get here. Just want to let you know that tonight's meeting is sponsored by Heritage Financial and Heritage Title. So those are a title and finance company. You've got 2 cocktail tickets for house, beer and wine, and rail cocktails. If you go through your 2 pink tickets, then you'll have to create your own tab. And just wanted to remind you that we do have 2 servers, Amanda and Nicholas. So if you have your own tab after you go through your 2 drink tickets. Don't forget to take care of them. Also, you have a gray ticket, which will be our giveaways. Hello. Our giveaways we're going to raffle off in about halfway through our meeting. We do have 2 great speakers tonight, and we'll go over those in just a moment. And I just want to remind you guys, Heritage Title is our in-house title company. We have a best rate guarantee that we will beat any title company's closing cost by $100. Your buyer also gets a $300 credit toward closing. And we travel anywhere, Maryland, Virginia, DC. We come to you, to your buyer for settlement. Okay, so give us a go if you haven't tried it. If you have and you've had a good experience, great, keep using us. If not, try to give us a go again, you guys, because we're really cleaning up that side of our company, and we have new people over there, stronger help. So again, give it a go. We appreciate that. Also, Heritage Financial. That's your green, and maybe a white handout on the next one. We also have a best rate guarantee that we will beat any other lender's rates by $100. Okay, if you just allow us to pre-qualify your buyer, you'll get a $100 Home Depot card. $100 Home Depot card. And if we can't beat that rate, then your buyer gets $500 credit at closing. Okay, so again, if you have never used Heritage Financial, try to give us a go. Because in order to keep your rates or your fees and low and your commission high, we've got to try to use our in-house title and finance. Okay, so think about that. We do all kinds of loans, and we're going to have one of our speakers that will come up in just a few minutes and talk about that. And I want you to just go ahead and turn to your neighbor and introduce yourself if you don't know them. Say hello. These meetings, introduce yourself. And she's going to go over all kinds of loans. She is one of our loan officers. We do have 12, 13 loan officers. So if you find that it's not good chemistry with some of the loan officers that you pick from other companies, again, we have 12, 13 loan officers. So let us know what you think. And give a big hand to Deborah Slack.
Can you hear me better with or without the mic? You hear me better with or without the mic? Is that good? TV radio show. Hi, good afternoon, evening, everybody. I'm down here about 15 minutes, so I'm going to go super quick. I'm going to reintroduce a very old product. FHA has $100 down payment purchase loan program. So I'm going to now say I'm Deborah Slack, loan officer, 17 years. I've been a loan officer since I was a fetus, because I know I look to year 21. 17 years, DC licensed, Virginia and Maryland. Conventional, VA, FHA, renovation, 203K, repair escrow, pretty much anything you throw at me, you go reverse. Don't care for reverse mortgages personally. So that's a little bit about myself. So the FHA, I thought we had a puppy in here. Did it come like a little puppy? I was like, look. Puppies and babies. I'm ready to look. Okay, so the FHA $100 down. I feel like all you hear is breath. Is that what you're hearing? I hear it. It does, doesn't it? Okay, so the FHA $100 down payment, no 3.5%. It is a standard FHA loan. Same guidelines, same qualifications, same credit score. It is not state specific. It is property specific. You do need to register with HUD. A lot of people think, oh, our state doesn't do this program. That program went to the wayside. I just closed two. It's a wonderful program. They have to be a HUD-owned property. Well, how do I find a HUD-owned property? I do have a very fat booklet here, and I can certainly make copies and get these scanned to you. It's several different websites where you can go on and specifically target HUD properties. Where they're located, just like you would through a zip code, what state you're looking for, what criteria you're looking for, and it's going to let you know what homes are available. They can be an REO, they can be a foreclosure, they can be a short sale, they can be whatever. The wonderful thing about this program is we all know when you look at a HUD home, it's not really move-in ready. No. So you can do a repair escrow. They have increased the repair escrow from $5,000 to $11,000. You can do a 203K streamline or a full-blown streamline on this product. It rolls right into the loan, just like your standard 203K renovation loan. It's a beautiful product. Your borrower needs only $100 down payment, and that is literally, if they're buying a $200,000 home, their loan amount is $199,900, literally. Then we add whatever repairs on top of that. Closing costs, depends on the property. I have seen some closing costs come across, not too many. How do I compensate with that? Because obviously if we have a borrower that can only put $100 down, they're not going to have a ton of down payment closing cost money, now are they? No. So, lender, we manipulate that with the fee. As a broker, we can do a borrower paid loan or a lender paid loan. So that means I can issue the same wholesale rate, but give a lender credit for closing costs. I am not capped at how much closing costs I can give. I can give more than 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever is needed to get the deal done, as long as the ratios stay in line and I get an approval through my DU system. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful program. There's a lot of things you have to do. You have to have a contractor. I have a list of the wonderful contractors, painters, plumbers, GCs, electricians, whatever you need. They're all on the approved list. You do a few very easy steps, and I have printouts for that. You're going to go to HUD.gov.com. You're going to register yourself. You can be a correspondent, or you can be a user, whichever you prefer. Once you're in the system, you can now at any time put in a bid. How do I put an offer in for a client that wants a HUD? You have to bid for it. Just like you were sitting at an auction block doing a bid. You go in, you put in your bid, your name, your address, all these wonderful little things because you're registered. You'll have to pull up the NID number which is your name, address, ID, that the listing agent would have put in there, and it will give you a little tab on how to do that. We were gonna do a projector, so, you know, I'm gonna pretend like I have tabs across my screen. You'll just click on the tab and it'll guide you through. It's very, very easy. We can certainly send a sign-up list around, and anybody who wants me to send you that link, we can send you the link. It also shows a video. It's very user-friendly. How do I do this? The video is going to talk you through it. It's going to run you through the tabs and tell you exactly what you need to do. Do that now. If this is a product, that program you want to do it now. Don't wait till you have an offer and a contract and then you're trying, like freaking out trying to get it in there before anybody else does. So, fail to plan, you plan to fail. So get in there now, get yourself registered, and get yourself into that system so that when you do have something, you're ready to go. Pre-qualification works just like any FHA loan. You send me your buyer. I do the tax returns, W-2s, pay stub, this, that, and that. I run them through the system. I tell you how much they can afford, and I can tell you what the cushion is on how much repairs they need, what they qualify for, and how much we can roll in for repairs are two different things. So if they qualify for $300,000, you know, they might have to back out $50,000 because they need $50,000 repairs. So we definitely have to do a checks and balance with repairs versus sales price. So that's kind of the bulk of it. It's a pretty big program to try and run over in 15 minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and hit it for questions and answers. Or questions if anybody has any questions. Yes?
Do you have a format for the repairs, like a format proposal that you already have done?
Anytime you get a HUD property, you will receive a PCR report, which is going to be your property condition report. HUD will have gone in and checked plumbing, electrical, all the bells and whistles. So you're going to get a snapshot of what the issues are with that property before you even determine whether you want to see it.
Right, I'm sorry. I'm talking about for your contract, for the contract work. Do you have a template?
How much a bathroom would cost?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's always been a problem. I've used it before, but it's been a problem.
What, the format? Well, that's
Make
what.
our own format for the most part.
Well, yeah, they shouldn't do that. That's where you run into problems. There is a format that they want you to follow with labor's materials, and I can certainly send you that. The contractors that are on the 203K approved list already know the deal. They don't do it?
No, trust me, it's been a big problem. I've done a couple ones.
With the contractor?
Well, what we submitted was they have done it before, and what was submitted, they made us review that several times.
The contractor bid? Okay, well, it does happen. It does happen. If you have a contractor that's never done a repair or 2 or 3K, you're definitely going to run into problems with that. There isn't a template for how much A, B, and C should cost because every contractor is going to give you a different bid. But the format stays the same. Material, labor, cost, time, draw schedule. So that format is pretty much the same. So I don't know if I answered your question.
No, I think
We did, okay, so the contractor, they send out, the lender that I have, they send out a package. And the package says, contractor profile, labor, blah, 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 and fill in the block. So they get a little bit of a template, but the lender shouldn't be coming back and saying they need to do more repairs.
exactly.
Yeah, the lender said they had to do more repairs?
Yeah, it was real nice.
So you know what, you know why that may have happened? Is if for some reason, that contractor wasn't given the PCR report?
No, we were.
You were?
Given the whole package.
Okay, well then I'm gonna blame your loan officer, because it wasn't me, right? Okay, I'm gonna blame your loan officer. Okay. So he doesn't like the program, but I do. Anybody else have any questions?
I love the program.
Oh, okay.
Still only 2 draws?
Well, it depends on what you do. If you have a repair escrow,
Okay.
then it's 2 draws, down to 11,000. If you have a full-blown 203K, it could take you 6 or 8 draws. It depends on the scope of the work. Anybody else? That was painless. No one else? Okay.
Because I've seen other properties, and the repair escrow that's normally included in the listing, is that just to give you an estimate, or to give you an idea of how much it costs, or would you still need to do a contract? Because I've seen some other properties where it says repair escrow, $800, and I look at the picture, I'm like, oh, it's like the property is $800.
When they do their PCR report, they do an estimate of what they think the cost to cure is for those things, and those are never accurate, so I don't know. Yeah, absolutely always get an estimate, and I would get 2 estimates. Just like if you were gonna get your house done and get improvements done, you will see contractors vastly different from what they do. I just had drywall done in my basement, and for a little patch, and one guy came and wanted $1,500, another guy came and wanted $550.
I just want to know about how accurate that repair escrow is. Because that was kind of makes the decision for the buyer, whether they want to see it, you know, how much work they're going to take on themselves.
It's not accurate, so when you do the listing, I would request to see the PCR report, and the PCR report will tell you electrical problems, plumbing not working, failed compression tests, needs new carpet, you know, you can kind of tell if that's going to be cosmetic work, or if they really need to get in there and cut the product. Yes?
Okay, so going back to the PCRs, when you look at those things and they have the amount in there, is that something that they give you a credit for, that have to do with credit for, or they're just telling you that they have the cost?
HUD has to disclose anything that they think is wrong with the property. So it's merely to save their backside if there's something missing on the property. It's for mere disclosure purposes whatsoever. It is not a real dollar sign of anything.
So they don't give you a credit for that amount, they just say, okay, we think that it's gonna make this, fix it, maybe, sort of, we don't care.
Correct, it's all as is. It's all as is. And that's why it's a bid.
Okay.
So you look at that PCR report and you say, well, they're asking this is what I think, you know, this is how much it's gonna cost, what's my bar. So it's definitely a little bit of a bid. It's an auction, you're at an auction buying, you know, a antique.
Okay.
Yes,
What about a termite damage? Termite,
that can be in a repair escrow.
but they never disclose. Even it's like so obvious, you walk in, the door frame is like it's all termite damage. And the agent says, I don't have a disclosure for termite damage. And they're not required. I'm not sure it's correct.
Now, is that on a HUD-owned property or are you
Yes.
saying in general?
Is this
On
correct?
HUD-owned property?
Yes.
I think that what you would probably see, and what I've seen on a PCR report, is foundation damage or wood repair, but they cannot conclusively say that a termite came in here and ate the house because they didn't see a termite, but they do have to disclose that there is some damage to the wood, but they're not going to describe to you what that damage
Oh,
is
it's a
about.
lot. It's like entire front door frame, the door and everything they go.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, when you go in and you get your estimate, and you get your contractor going, they're gonna flag all of those things that need to be fixed, and all of that can be put into the repair escrow. So are you asking me, do they have to disclose it?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking me?
Yes, even it's so obvious.
Yes, they are supposed to disclose it, yes, absolutely.
What if they don't have it, or they did not have the termite disclosure?
Well, let's rewind. They can't conclusively say that it's from termites unless they have a termite inspection done. They only have to disclose that they can see visible damage done to an area, and they can only flag it. They're not going to say it was termite, it was a windstorm, you know, the dog chewed up the window seal. I mean, they're not going to say that. They're only going to disclose that there's visible damage to the house. They don't have to fine tune or specify what that damage was caused from.
So that come up to the damage or estimate, because if you have termite inspection, because you see it, you gotta have an expert come in, actually look at the call, whether the termite still exists there, require termite treatment, plus how bad the termite damage is, or what.
Well, and if it's that bad, I would recommend GC to make sure there's no structural damage. If it's really that much, I would certainly have it tested a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that the sell the house like that, and it's so obvious.
As is covers a lot. Yeah, yeah. And another, see anybody else? Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
For the auction, is there a buyer premium or a buyer fee that they have to pay?
That is such a great question, because not many people, I was going to touch on that next. There are some sites that do have a premium, up to as high as 4.5%.
Oh, I'm gonna hire them.
Yeah, higher than that. And there are some that aren't. So
You never know.
So you never know, but it is disclosed in the listing. It will be disclosed in the listing. So, and it all depends upon, and they can roll that premium into the loan. They can finance that premium. They can finance that premium. Pardon me?
In this program?
Yes, they can finance that into the program. Anybody else? Becky? Yeah.
I'm looking here, I don't see the agenda, but I don't see your name on anything.
Oh, it's really, really, really small.
Oh, got it.
I'll bring some cards
I
around.
got it. Thank
I'll bring
you.
some, sure.
Thank you.
That was a great question. Anyone else? I think Jason's ready to come up. I'm not getting a 15-minute queue time. I kind of feel like I'm up here for Diane's busy. Sandy, did you have a question? Were you just fidgeting? Okay. Anyone else? We're good? Okay, so it's a great program. I can come around, I can even do a sign-up list. If anybody would like what this is going to be, this is going to be an actual snapshot of the HUD website. It's going to show you the tabs. It's going to show you the drop-down of where to register and how to register. And there's a few websites on there to go and look at your properties. I can also send you a copy of my documentation request checklist, is what I need to get your borrowers pre-approved. And it sounds like a scary process, and the first one you do is scary when you have a repair escrow. But really the key in any one of these programs, 203Ks, renovation loans, is to have a contractor who knows their paperwork. Paperwork is the #1 holdup on any renovation loan. So it's really important that you do everything correctly up front, else you really get held up in underwriting. It should come out with no more conditions than a regular FHA 203B if it's done properly. Yes?
Do you have to use the approved contract?
You do not have to use an approved 203K contractor, but the lender will contractor specifically approve that contractor. So he will do a contractor profile, a resume, 3 references, his W-9, his liability, his lead paint, his resume, his license insurance, blah, blah, blah. So he's going to have a little bit of a homework assignment. But absolutely, you can use anybody you choose as long as they're licensed.
So if they're not pre-approved, then they gotta jump through a lot of hoops.
No, it's a packet. I mean, as long as, just like, they gotta be approved, yeah. Because they're being paid directly and they're getting a wire. They're gonna get a wire right into their account when they get paid, inspections, and they have to follow themselves. They can't, it's definitely no DIY at all. Anyone else? We good? Okay, Diane, do you want to introduce our next person? Thank you so much for your time and just grab me.
Thank you, Debbie Slack. I hope you guys got a lot of information on that. And if I can have Melissa, where'd Melissa go? I need that picture brought up with the tickets pretty quickly. Thank you, Debbie. And for those that are trickling in, I just wanted to again introduce myself. My name is Diane and I am your marketing director. So for those that are coming in, please take a moment and introduce yourself to your neighbor. This is a great way to network and to meet your fellow agents. So just take a second and introduce yourself. And if you can pull out your white ticket, there you go. Welcome those travelers. I know the traffic is getting crazy. And we may have a few more, so if we have an empty seat next to you, we may fill it. And I'm going to call out a ticket number for a giveaway up here. We have a nice wine or t-shirts that you can choose from. So the first ticket number is 513224. 513224. There you go. So you can grab a bottle of wine or a shirt if you like. Great to see you. And I'll take your ticket. Thank you. Glad you guys made it down. Okay, next ticket is 513216. 513216. Got a winner? Right. There you go, Jean. And you can go right over here and buy a wine or a t-shirt, your choice. The t-shirts are from small, large, and extra large, running from left to right. Yes. All right, I have been the whole time when you guys were introducing yourselves. I've been mixing the bowl. Okay, next ticket, 513212. 212, Tarita, new agent pull another one before we introduce our next speaker. 513250. 513250. Yeah, okay, Bobby. Oh, I'm gonna grab one more real quick. Okay, here we go. 513203. 203. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. 203. David Green. Okay, come on up. Grab your winning. I'll take your ticket. Don't worry, Kim. I'm trying. I really am trying. Okay, so our next speaker is going to be Jason Jutilla, and he actually was one of our speakers back in February. So if you were here for that meeting, we had a lot of people, a lot of energy. This is going to be part 2 of increasing your sales, doubling and tripling, boosting your business. So right now I want to give it up for Jason Jutilla.
How's everybody doing? Great. I'm sorry. How's everybody doing? Great. All right. How many people were here last February? Not many. Okay. So last February we talked about how many people you need to call on a daily basis in order to constantly call people to get your pipeline going so that you can hit your sales goal. We broke it down very simple, that if you make 9 calls a day, 20 days out of the month, then you can hit your financial goal depending on what your sales price is. Taylor has it on the website if you ever want to go back to it. It's their February company meeting, and I would recommend it because we go through the numbers pretty well. For this, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to recap on what we talked about before in February. First is your why. Everybody in this room, before you even start on real estate, needs to find out what your why is. Why are you passionate to do this business? Is it to make a lot of money? Is it as simple as that? Because there's a lot of things that you could do to make a lot of money in terms of real estate. For me, my why was to help clients and to help people. And I think your clients, if you have your why straight, your clients see that. Right? So the other component of it was to make sure that my financial future was not in the hands of any other business owner. That they couldn't come in one day and be laid off, like I was. Just in the middle of the day, laid off, and I had nothing. So first is finding out your why. Now in your packet, I want you to go to the last page. If you don't have a pen, you can raise your hand and then back, they'll give you a pen. You'll see a section that just says notes there. I want you to take your pen and write ABC. Okay? And some of you that have done sales might know that is always be closer. Okay, so write down ABC. Okay? I want you to take a pen and just put an X through that. ABC is now gone. To the right of that, I want you to put ABH. There's a difference now. It's not always be closing, it's always be helping. And I think that if you get that in your mindset, if that's your why, if that's where you start to come from, that's going to help you in your business. Clients don't want you to sell them, they want you to help them and to be that resource and to be that go-to person. So ABH is what I want us to think about in our mindset. Now, with a show of hands, how many people do real estate full-time? Okay, everybody else part-time. So let's continue on this mindset. I want everybody to close their eyes for just a minute and think about when you were a teenager, okay? Going back many years, right? Think about what it was like. You can open your eyes for a minute. When you were at that age, you thought you could do anything you wanted to do. You thought the world was your oyster. You could be a pilot, astronaut, whatever. You graduated high school or college, all of a sudden we got stuck into this system of paying rent or bills and all this stuff, and we just settled. Everybody just settled, okay? And we kept doing it. We did it after 10 years, 15 years, now we're later in life, and we look back and say, did we really accomplish everything that we thought we could when we were a little kid? And ask yourself that question. Are you where you want to be now, or are we just settling? Okay? Think about that for a minute. So why do you think we've settled? Well, there's a principal reason. You didn't settle in a way because you got your real estate license. So everybody that does this part-time is looking for something else. They're looking for maybe making a little extra money, okay? Or maybe helping some clients get their house. The number one reason that holds us all back, think about when you were a little kid, you had no money, and hopefully you got a happy childhood, but you had no money and you could do anything. But right now you're trapped, in many cases people are, because they're afraid. They're afraid of, what if I don't have a paycheck? So it's fear. So write down fear on that page, it's fear. And I want you to cross out that word too. How many people have heard, oh, real estate's too competitive. It's too hard out there. Or I need a full-time job. That mindset is all in the mind, okay? And so the number one, if you want to excel at real estate, I promise you, help your clients, always be helping, the money will come, okay? And just like when you were a little kid, you didn't know what the future was. We got in that cycle and we got trapped. And all of a sudden, it's hard to break through. So I'm going to show you how to break through. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to change a couple habits. What you're doing now, if you want to break through, you need to do something a little different. And for some of you, it's going to be a lot different. And it's not going to be comfortable, but just like the mindset, we're going to help you. We're going to help you with your muscle memory in your head, okay? Because all this is in your head, all right? It's like if you go to the gym and you haven't been there in 20 years, and I say, let's go work out. Are you going to run right up to the weights, not knowing what you're going to do, and expect to be successful? No, right? Same sort of thing in real estate as we take this as a career. We need to train our minds to get rid of this fear, okay? So it starts with creating habits. As a show of hands, how many people get up, let's say, start their day at, say, 7 o'clock in the morning? Show of hands. Nobody else gets up at 7 o'clock? 7 o'clock or earlier? No. There you go, 7 o'clock or earlier. All right, keep your hands up if you start at 6 o'clock. Okay? Keep your hands up if you start at 5 o'clock. Keep your hands up if you start at 4:30. Now, if you're past 4:30, you beat me, because I'm up at 4:30. Okay? But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're doing this part-time, I want you to go into your packet. You'll see a calendar here. Sorry, they're not numbered, but it's after the business plan. I want you to block out whatever time you get up. If that's 7, 8, you get ready for bed, or you get ready to get up, you go to work, whatever that is, you need to cross that time out. Okay? So if it's 9 to 5, 8 to 5, 8 to 6, whatever it is, from Monday through Friday, you need to cross that out. Okay? In your calendar. You can't do real estate during that day. You're working for somebody else. You're doing this part-time. Everything else, you choose to do. If you want this bad enough, you need to wake up earlier. A year ago, I wasn't waking up at 4:30 in the morning. Okay? I was waking up at 8 o'clock thinking if I made 100 grand, that was enough. I got involved in coaching. As many of you know, I'm with the Tom Ferry coaching group. And my business coach encouraged me to get up. I said, are you kidding me? I'm a night person. Name me one successful CEO that goes to bed late and wakes up late. I couldn't think of a single one. You're only as good as who you surround yourself with. The reason I'm involved in coaching is not only to perfect my craft, but to surround myself with some of the smartest people in real estate. Okay? You also only put out what you put in. So that's what I'm trying to teach you today, is some of this stuff. One is waking up early. If you want this bad enough, if you want to think about changing it from a part-time to maybe what a full-time would be like, we'll try waking up at least an hour early. And then when that's good enough, wake up a little early, okay? So what does that mean? You might have to go to bed early. But start planning that in your day. So, things that really help me, as you're writing down in your notes. And I'll give you a case in point. Well, I'll tell that in a minute. Why don't I start with affirmations? So I write down, and some of you might have heard some of this type of stuff. I write down 10 things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my health, for my family. I'm grateful to speak to you all today. And every day it changes. I write down those 10 things every day. The second thing I do is I write down my financial goals. Now, in last February, some people's goals were 100,000, 200,000, even more. I write that down. So, for example, if your financial goal is $100,000, or say $200,000, I write down 10 times that my financial goal is my goal is to make $200,000 this year, and everything that I do will attract towards that. I write that down 10 times. Now, you might say, well, why do you write it? Because the mind is actually, with the hand, it's all connected. You write it enough, it's going to get in your mind, okay? If you say, I don't want to wake up earlier, then you're not going to make more money. If you say, I'm going to intentionally wake up earlier, I'm going to intentionally write these affirmations, it's kind of like going to that gym. You're not going to get it right away. But over a course of 90 days, your mind starts changing. You start to operate in a different way, okay? The next is going back to that calendar to plan out your day. Now, for the folks that are doing this part-time, you might think, well, I'm just going to do real estate part-time. I'm going to do it in my spare time. That's fine. Just put it on your calendar. Figure out when you're going to make the calls. Figure out when you're going to show property. I always tell people that I can show you property at 4 or 7 every day. What works best for you? When I talk to new prospects, it's already in my mind. 4 or 7 o'clock. If those don't work for some reason, if it doesn't, we can go to something else. But it's already programmed. It's already in my schedule. I have a schedule for the week. If it's not on there, I don't do it. The next thing that I want you to write in your notes is plan at least an hour a day to work on your business. So for those of you that are doing this part-time, it's tough, right? You gotta get home and you gotta make time to make those calls. The number one thing that I hear that folks have a problem with is, go out, oh, I need to make more money. My number one question is, what time do you wake up? The second is let me see your calendar. If you're not making enough money, it's because you're not planning to do it, okay? And if everything's okay now, that's fine. But if you want to change, I'm telling you things to change. So here's some things that you want to write down. Coaches. The one I use is Tom Ferry, as I told you. I also want you to write Mike Ferry, he's another coach. Buffini, some of you may have heard, also another coach. Joshua Smith. If you're really serious about having a breakthrough in your business, start to use YouTube and real estate coaches and find out what works best for you. You look at athletes, they make millions of dollars. You can do the same thing in real estate, make a ton of money. I don't know a single athlete that doesn't have a coach. Next thing I want you to do is write down reading lists. Remember, what I told you before, you're only as good as what is put in you. I read a book at least a week. And I would encourage you to subscribe to Amazon audiobooks if you haven't already, and get a wireless headset. You can listen to this when you're showing property to clients. Some of the stuff that I've been filling my head with is extreme ownership, winning at losing, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. As you start to get into this, you're changing the way you think about things. You're taking it from not only just, oh, it's a hobby, it's a nice vacation, to you can make more real estate as long as your heart's right, okay? You're going to look at your schedule and look at how much time you've crossed off from your job that you can't dedicate to this. And imagine what that would be like if you spent full time in real estate, right? The next thing I want you to write down is Facebook groups. I would highly recommend, if you don't already subscribe, to Lab Coat Agents. Okay? That's an excellent resource. Another one is check yard sales and small business websites for your community. A lot of Facebook groups are in that. And I know from my area, we have a Montgomery County, Northern Virginia, DC, real estate open house and listings where you can post listings and get the word out that way. And I would highly suggest that you have a business Facebook page. The last thing I want to do is mention about virtual assistants. I think it's absolutely essential if you're doing this full-time or thinking about doing it full-time, the amount of money it costs to have a virtual assistant is very small. And one of the things that my coach always told me was that if you don't have an assistant, you are the assistant. Okay? And just to get you organized and get, one of the things that we focus on is do $1,000 an hour type work. If it's something that can be outsourced to somebody else, then outsource it. Okay? But get in this habit of creating good habits. It will expand you from part-time to full-time. Now going through the packet real quickly. I provided a lot of good information in here, and it's impossible to go through all this tonight. But I want to give you some information that you can take back and you can start plugging in these numbers. The first thing is on the front of the page is my information, right? I'm licensed in Maryland, DC, and Virginia, and my phone number and email is there. If you ever have a question about anything, call me. If you ever want to meet for an hour, you can come to my office. We'll go through this. Here are all the things in terms of lead sources that they can have here, okay? So one thing that you should do, if you have some sales for this month, is write down and see where they all came from. And then double it. Figure out where you're going to put more resources. If you say, well, Jason, I don't have a sale yet, we'll go through the list. You're bound to pick up something, I'm sure Diane would love to have a call from you, and she didn't know I was going to say this, and say, hey, who are the out-of-state agents? Who moved out that you know that might need some help? Then you get a referral. And you start networking. You can't be a secret agent to be successful. It's impossible. Okay? The next is also personal expenses. So between on your personal expenses and business expenses, you should have a really good idea of what your annual expenses are for the year. Okay? And everything is drilled back to that. For example, if your expenses are $90,000 for the whole year, let's just say, and you know that that's $90,000 and that your average sales price is $300,000. So your commission, say at 3% is $9,000, you have to do 10 deals to make $90,000. You need to focus on terms of deals, not the sales. And so as long as you can do that, you make it so it's bite size. You know that if you have to do 10 deals, that's less than one a month. That seems pretty doable to me, doesn't it? Okay. I also put on there big events and quarterly events. We just had a movie night last month where I did it in a week. The first movie night I had 15 people, 20 people showed up. This was a few years back. Second one I had 50 people. Third and fourth one I had 100. This last one I just did, I did it in less than a week. 150 people showed up at my house. I had a big projection for a movie, had the licensing rights to show a Disney movie, had kids, barbecue, adult drinks, everything for the whole community and my past clients. And last person didn't leave till 3:30 in the morning. And my wife's the same. She stayed up till 3:30. I went to bed at 2. Because I'm up early in the morning. But the fact of the matter is remember, you got to give in order to receive, right? It's hard to say, hey, give me your, do you know someone who's buying if you're not already giving out to people? The last thing that I provided for you here, and all of this is available online, and you're welcome to Google it, is a buyer pre-qualification script. One of the things as an agent that we always ask are you pre-qualified? Right? Do you think that should be the first question? Absolutely not. Because we need to build a dialogue. So on this, you'll see that number 10 on this on the buyer pre-qualification script, okay? When you have a potential buyer, that's question number 10. Now, the actual script that I use is 3 pages, okay? And it has 25 questions. And the 24th question is the lender question. But by then, I have a pretty good idea of how that buyer is, so that I know them inside and out. So if someone asks me a question, or a lender asks me a question, or what have you, I know it, because these are designed to build a rapport, okay? So, with that, that's all the information I had. I wanted to open up for any questions if you guys have any.
Can you list those Facebook coaches again?
The coaches, sure. These are just 4 off the top of my head. Tom Ferry. The next one is Mike Ferry, which is his father. And they're spelled just like they sound. The next one's Buffini. I have no idea how you spell that. And the next one is Joshua Smith. Now I can speak about Tom Ferry. There's, you can go to some of his events, like there's Summit in Las Vegas that I'm going the second week in August. You can pay the fee and go. So you don't have to be part of the coaching program. You can just pay the fee and go. And he has events all across the country. There's also different tiers, so I can speak to this because I know about Tom Ferry. There's the core level and the elite level for Tom Ferry in different prices, okay? So depending on your budget, you don't have to be in hardcore coaching right off the bat. Just get into something, work your way into it. The only reason why I touch on coaching is I believe every single one of you can do this on your own. You absolutely don't need a coach. The question is how long is it going to take you to get from point A to point B? And are you going to be accountable to yourself? I know me, I can't even go to the gym by myself without having an accountability partner, right? So same thing in real estate. If we're going to treat this like a career, we need to be set up for success. What other questions?
What's your best online lead generation source?
So I just took on a buyer agent, okay? And I used to do Zillow, Trulio, all that stuff when I was a part-time agent. I did over $5 million last year on just Sphere of Influence. This year I'm going to more than double it. I just started doing Facebook ads. I linked up with a guy in Texas, and if you want more information, you can come to me afterwards. Only for him. And I'm giving him consistently 5 to 10 leads a week that are solid. They're all out of 2 million people that I've targeted in this area. It's honed into 74,000, and it's very pinpointed. And there's 3 levels of criteria. And then I have it go on to a CRM, Lions Desk. So immediately when they get on the Facebook ad, it goes into a drip campaign. And then my buyer agent, Sean, who's not here because he's showing houses, is contacting them. So they're very, it's different than other lead gen things where 3 agents are calling them. They're only getting my stuff. And before I gave it to him, I tested out for myself. And I just rolled this out about a month and a half ago, and I'm closing my first deal a week from Friday on it. So it works. And that was from cradle to grave on that thing was probably about 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Yeah.
What did you spend for that?
I've spent a total of $500 on it.
Cool, thanks.
And I would spend more, except we can't keep up with it. But I've spent thousands of dollars on Zillow and Trulia and all that stuff. Now, that being said, I will say some of the Tom Ferry members, they're doing phenomenal with Zillow. It just didn't work for me. Now, did I have the scripts back then? Did I know what to say? No, I didn't. So I got to own that. Remember that book, Extreme Ownership? I own that. I can't necessarily fault that. What other questions?
Right here in the corner.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so when you spend some money on Zillow, did you get returns?
I got one deal out of a year. So I think I spent $6,000 and made $6,000, something like that. Now, that being said, I'm in Montgomery County, and one of my strong competitors, he spends $30,000 a month. Okay, and he controls many zip codes. So again, you want the highest and best use of your dollars, and if you don't have maximum exposure, you're just throwing money away. I'd rather take that money and get in front of 150 people at my house and have an awesome barbecue for a couple $1,000 and enjoy myself than being angry at some lead gen sites for not giving me enough leads. And then once I get the leads, not knowing enough myself to do these scripts to be able to close them. Anyone else? Okay. All right, thank you very much, guys.
Well done. Give it up for Jason Jutila. I hope that you guys, if you did make it to that first meeting when he spoke, and you were able to take something away from that, and a little bit more to make the second part of this year count. Now, I just want to get you guys to raise your glass for a second. If you have a glass, if not, grab that little koozie on the table. And I want you to celebrate that Taylor Properties and Anne Arundel Properties has reached 600 agents. Maryland, Virginia, and DC. Yes, we're looking at marketing in the Mid-Atlantic region, and we're trying. Isn't that great? And we're very excited about it. So again, if you haven't used Heritage Financial or Heritage Title, give it a go. These are our in-house title and finance company. This is how we are able to keep your fees low and your commissions high. Again, by using those in-house title and finance. Heritage Title, best rate guarantee. There will be any other lender by $100. Your buyer gets $300 credit toward closing. And again, we travel anywhere in the Maryland, Virginia, and DC area. Same with Heritage Financial. If you just allow us to pre-qualify your buyer, you get a $100 Home Depot card. Okay, we have 13 loan officers, 13 loan officers. So if you're not feeling good chemistry with one, we will have another one for you. Again, best rate guarantee, and if we cannot beat another lender's rate, we will give your buyer $500 credit. Okay, at closing. So tonight, you guys, little meet and greet with the rest of our agents. Shout out to our newer agents that have joined Taylor Properties and Anne Arundel Properties, and enjoy the festivities over here. We do have 2 food stations, meet and greet, so help yourself. There you go. Thank you for coming out tonight, guys.